AI has been around for a long time. It's just the current iteration and is more powerful than it's ever been, and it's available to the average layperson, right?
Mm.
In the past, 15 years ago, AI was still around. It just wasn't as intelligent as it is now, and it wasn't available to the average person that they could just pull it up, right? You can just pull up Google Bard on your computer. You can pull up ChatGPT tomorrow, like today, and during this conversation, and you can start asking it questions. So it's very available, very accessible now, which was different to what it was 10 years ago. Think back to when you and I were younger, man, and it was hard to get your hands on a computer. Remember that?
I do.
Right? Or it was hard to get your
I'm
hands
old enough.
on or it was hard to get your hands on the internet. Maybe you had like a dial-up modem, right? Once that became mainstream, everything changed. And that's what you're seeing right now. Not only is everything changing because the technology is improving, but everything's changing because everybody has access to it, which means AI can now learn from everybody, just like everybody can learn how to use AI.
Right. So,
And if you're scared, I think you should be scared. I am
yeah.
also scared. It's wise to be scared of what the future of AI brings because it's so cutting edge. Nobody knows what they're doing. They break that thing just as often as they make some kind of breakthrough with the
Right.
thing.
Yeah, shit. So I've got an assumptive question. Would you say you have seen the worst side of humanity as an ex-CIA spy?
I would say the short answer is no.
Okay.
What I would say is that I have now seen that humanity can be an extremely disgusting, terrible, cruel thing. Because I've seen people get just within shades of true villainous evil, but they still have headroom. There's still deeper, darker places people can go.
Wow.
And that's what's amazing. Even your darkest person out there, the terrorist who's cutting off a Westerner's head and spitting down his severed throat, that guy still has principles, still has values, still believes ideologically he's doing the right thing. So he's not as far down in the dark depravity as he could be. He's still going home and he's loving a wife and he's raising a kid. Just he's doing it the way he thinks it's right. Right? ISIS was messed up. ISIS is still messed up where they have their strongholds. They honestly believe that what they're doing is right. And that's what's so difficult about mankind is that we get into these ideological frames of reference and we can justify our own cruelty by rationalizing that it's for some better good. And we've all done it. We've all seen it. We celebrate World War II heroes because they did the same thing.
So first, I want to talk about AI a bit, and I'm going to go no context, then I'm going to go context. So no context. How long has humanity got left as a species before we are wiped out?
I don't think we'll ever be wiped out.
Well, what?
I don't think we'll ever be wiped out. Yeah. I think what's going to happen is that AI is going to be smart enough to realize that there is value in humanity, even if it's just observational value, right? Look at how we have national parks to protect certain trees, and we have protected coastline to protect certain birds. It's not that they enrich the environment. It's just that we want to make sure that we preserve that species because there's going to be some sort of biological benefit. AI is never going to have a biological benefit. So it will eventually learn that there is value in just preserving the biology of something for who knows what reason, because it's working on its own innovation to convert biology into real energy, like the Matrix, right? So humanity is not ever going to be erased. It will definitely be culled. It will be optimized, right? People like you and I might be deemed as unnecessary, but there will be somebody else out there who's deemed as necessary, and they will be given the requisite amount of food and time to live.
Okay, we need to stay here. So, because I need to challenge you on something, but I'll come back to that. So are you saying AI will become the superior species at some point and we won't be top of the food chain anymore?
I don't know if they'll ever be considered a species, because I think there's a certain element here where AI knows that that human beings will always be, if not a creative force, they'll always be some sort of force multiplier to whatever the AI is trying to accomplish. So we might become like, a parallel partnership, or we might become two separate animals in the same park type of thing, right? but I'm not worried about them becoming a superior species. In many ways, once AI becomes self-cognizant of itself, if we ever give it the ability to do that, which we're recklessly running in that direction. But when that happens, it's going to be like it's like talking to another human being, like interacting with another intelligent life form, whether it's alien or terrestrial.
Right, fascinating. So I watched this brilliant documentary. I think it's called AI Robots, and it's about the race to basically having the best technology in the military in AI. And the big discussion and debate is essentially whether you give AI autonomy to make the kill decision. And there is some people that say that that's already happened. So the box is open, Pandora's box is open. There are some that they're still discussing this. And they go back to a treaty between Russia and America where they signed a treaty to basically not use biological weapons because they realized even though this is war and we want to kill each other, we don't want to kill everyone. And I feel like we're there again, whereby if we, there's obviously some good to this because there'll be no more PTSD and no more people getting their limbs blown off if it's all robots. So I can see that, but fuck, are we not really making undue risk if we give them autonomous killing decisions?
You're going to disagree with me probably, but I would say that we want to give AI autonomous kill decisions because we want them to execute at the optimal time, right? It's really not that different than when you give a Navy SEAL or a Green Beret or a Delta Ranger a chance to make the choice when they pull the trigger. They're pulling the trigger at the optimum time.
Right.
What's the point in having a machine that can be even more optimal than a human, but it has to ask permission from who? A human. What if the human's taking a dump at that moment, right? What if they're checking their watch? What if they just got a text message from their daughter and they're not looking at the screen at the moment that the robot says it's optimal? Then they look back at the screen and that 0.02 second optimal window has now passed, and now we're choosing to shoot at a suboptimal time. So if anything, what we're going to want to do is create very strict guidelines around when and how a AI-driven killbot, if you will, can pull the trigger, can make the decision to neutralize, because it's already been given the green light to neutralize. That's why it's on site. We want to kill, right? Kill or capture or neutralize. That's why it's there. So all we have to do is just give it the power to do it at an optimal time, which is around giving it a rubric so it knows what is legal, what is not legal, who its target is, who its target is not, et cetera, et cetera. If you like this short clip, make sure you click here to see the next clip or here to see the full podcast episode.
Freedom! So fresh, so new. Freedom!